Hey, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today in the Wells Tech Garage for this week's episode of CounterPoint. I am once again joined here by Adam. Adam's back.
So I'm back. It's great to be back.
Thanks for being here today, Adam.
Thanks for having me.
So today, guys, we are going to be talking about the Evap system. And now I know we've talked about certain components, certain parts in the Evap system. Today, I want to talk about the Evap system in general and in its entirety because we get a lot of calls on Evap-related problems up in the catalog department as well as the tech department. What kind of stuff do you get calls on upstairs, Adam?
The big thing I get by me is identification of the particular solenoid, especially on a foreign vehicle, Toyota, Nissan. They can have multiple solenoids or little, spread out in front of you, and you're kind of questioning what it is.
Sure.
So the big thing is people call in with a stamping number or something like that. We can identify that.
And you're able to figure out what solenoid they have in their hand.
That's a real big problem. And then the other thing too is just someone calling in for a part number.
Okay.
And that's where it gets into the fact that calling for a part number, but as you get to talk to them more, it's more questionable, kind of what's going on.
Maybe they're just guessing, or they were led there by somebody else.
Because of the internet or something, which is cool, but there's still other places.
Sure.
To check here.
Diagnosis is key in these systems, and we get a lot of calls down in the tech department about that, and commonly it's where's my fuel tank pressure sensor located? I need to change that out, and well, it's first of all, we'll back up here. That's a big task. Typically, you got to drop the gas tank down to get to this tiny little sensor that sits on top of there. That usually doesn't fail. It's not one of the more common places, but on the list of things that might be setting your check engine light, that's like maybe fourth or fifth on the list, and maybe people have already replaced those other components. So when we get that call asking where that part is particularly, it's let's back it up here and figure out what was done to this vehicle, figure out why you're doing this. And typically the story goes, they drive up to the parts store and they want their codes read, right? Maybe their check engine light's on, or that some newer vehicles will turn on that check gas cap light. So that's where they start. So they pull up to the store and they get these codes out, and sometimes it's like a P0455, large evap leak. By no means does that mean replace the vent solenoid, replace the purge solenoid, replace the fuel tank pressure sensor. That doesn't mean that. All that means is that the system and its integrity has failed. It's not holding its pressure or its vacuum like it's supposed to. So that doesn't mean to go throw parts at it until you get the right one.
That can get really costly.
It can. It can. And labor intensive. I mean, like I said, this little guy right here up on top of the fuel tank.
You got
to drop that down. So there's a lot of questions when it comes to the Evap system. And first of all, guys, what we need to understand is that the Evap system is a sealed unit, okay? It's part of the goal of the Evap system is to keep those fuel vapors from escaping into the atmosphere, okay? So we seal them into this component here, which is
that's the vapor canister.
The vapor canister. We seal them inside of there, and then they get sucked into the system through the purge solenoid, which is that one right there, right?
Yes, this is the purge.
Through our purge solenoid into the engine to burn off those fumes. Okay, this system needs to be completely sealed. If it's leaking, it allows those fumes out into the atmosphere, and that's not good for our flowers and our trees and our emission standards.
Exactly. We'll hit the check engine light.
Exactly. We'll get a check engine light. We'll see a P0455 for a large leak, maybe a P0442 for a small leak, something like that. But again, that's not pointing you directly towards a specific part. It's pointing you towards the system in its entirety has failed somewhere. Its integrity has failed. So we also have up on the table here Chrysler's.
We have a leak detection pump here.
Okay.
So as you can see, this is the inside of it.
A little diaphragm in here.
A diaphragm, a little rubber.
Yeah, so this thing could fail.
Exactly.
This is part of it.
I mean,
this one's already failed. It's got a hole in it.
This is a used one. It already it's failed.
Right. This is one we took off of.
We took it off, and that's how it failed. There's
off a vehicle with a failure.
Small hole in it, very small. It looks like a piece of sand.
Yeah,
basically.
But it'll fail the test. It'll cause a leak. Just like this purge solenoid here. This thing should be normally closed. If you pull this off your vehicle, have it unplugged, you should not be able to blow through it. It should be sealed up. If you can blow through it, well then it's failed. That's what's causing your problem. Vent solenoid, this is the one that's under the vehicle. This is going to be the exact opposite. This thing should be normally open. You should be able to blow through this thing when it's unplugged. If you plug it in or give it power, it should close and it should seal. But you should be able to blow through it when it's unplugged. And then the canister, well, with this thing, you just want to really look for cracks or damage with it.
Yeah, collision damage or something like that.
The fuel tank pressure sensor, well, this could cause it can actually set its own codes. P0451, 452, 453, and 454 are all related to the fuel tank pressure sensor with its circuit, performance, and intermittent concerns. And then we also have two other codes Evap related. That's going to be a 443 purge control circuit and a 449 vent control circuit, and those are related to the electrical control circuits for those. So there's a lot of different codes here and a lot of things that don't point you specifically at a part. But what we need to remember here is that we need to be looking at our problem and looking at our car and diagnosing it, at least to the best of your ability, prior to throwing parts at it. If you're able to pull the solenoids off, great. Check them, see if you can blow through them. But don't overlook the super simple things. You know, we always get the story of, yeah, I threw a gas cap on it first because that was the easiest thing. You know, it's probably under 20 bucks for your vehicle. You throw a gas cap on it. And a lot of people don't understand why they put the gas cap on in the first place. Well, there's a seal on there, right? And there's that little rubber O-ring on there, and that could get cracked, it could get damaged. So you want to put that on, right? Okay, fine. But what is that gas cap actually sealing against? So here in this clip right here, you guys will see, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this gas cap off and show you another problem that's commonly overlooked. So that's our O-ring on our gas cap. You can see that it's all kind of rusty on there, but look at the filler neck. Look what that gas cap is sealing against. Look how rusty that thing is. As we zoom in there, you can see it's really, really rusty. I got some paper towel there. I'm going to go ahead and put it into the filler neck just a little bit to keep any dirt from getting down into the gas tank, because I'm about to clean this thing up. There's a Brillo pad there that I'm using to just try and get this rust back off here, to get this thing back to sealing up. Remember, with the gas cap, it's got a seal on it, but there's two parts to this system, right? There's the seal, and then there's what the seal is sealing against.
Exactly.
Without having a clean surface, that seal's not going to clean up. And you can see here I'm working really, really hard to get this thing clean. I had an energy drink that morning.
That's right, a lot of coffee.
Yeah. And voila, it's clean. So you guys can still see that there's some pitting in here a little bit, but now we got to clean up the gas cap, and you'll see that I work really hard at getting this thing cleaned up too. So instead of replacing this gas cap, I chose to just clean it up because the O-ring wasn't in horrible shape. It wasn't cracked, it just had some rust on it. So get that all cleaned up, nice and clean, got all those rust chunks off of there, and it's just about ready to be reinstalled. But you can see that there's a little bit of pitting and stuff on there. So I'm going to just wipe it down first of all, get all the dirt and everything off, and then I'm going to take some Vaseline and wipe it around there to help promote sealing as well as reduce any sort of future rust buildup. It'll just kind of seal it up a little bit better. And there we go, wiping some Vaseline around on there. Just trying to get it to keep from having any sort of more rust buildup. And you can see that there's still some pits in there. If this thing still fails the leak test, you would have to replace the filler neck, but there we go. Put the gas cap back on. I reran the test, and this one passed. So a simple leak code like a P0455 wasn't caused by our purge, wasn't caused by our vent, wasn't caused by our fuel tank pressure sensor.
Just a little rust.
Just a little bit of rust. So don't overlook the easy things, the simple things, the things that you could probably do right at home in your own garage. So I guess that's the moral of the story today, Adam, is with Evap, don't overlook the little things.
Yeah, exactly. Diagnosis is key here.
Exactly, because they're such generic codes. It's not like a map sensor code, which is pointing you right at the map sensor. It's not like let's say an ABS wheel speed code that's pointing you to a specific wheel to show you where to look. The Evap system has, as you can see, multiple components for multiple different problems, with one code that just says it's leaking somewhere. You know, it could be any of these components. It could be that rust buildup that you just saw, or it could even be like a hose or a piece of tubing in there somewhere. So there's a lot of different things.
Yep, and it's expensive too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, vapor canisters are $100 to $700.
Yeah, depending on your
depending on
vehicle.
what you have. So.
Yep, leak detection pumps aren't cheap.
They're not cheap either.
None of this
Any
stuff
of the stuff, you know, there's definitely some cost there.
Exactly,
so.
exactly. So don't overlook the easy things. If you guys have questions or you would like a little help with your diagnostics, definitely give us a call, 1-800-558-9770. Option 1 to talk to us in the tech department, If you're wondering what part to put on, or you're trying to cross-reference a number or something, you can talk to Adam, right?
Give me a call. It's prompt number 2.
Prompt number 2 for catalog. So, all right, I think that's probably about it. Okay, check us out, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're out there for under Wells Vehicle Electronics. We're constantly updating those almost every day now. And also, if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share the video with your friends, and I hope you picked up a couple things here. So
that works for me.
That'll do it. All right, so thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you again next time in the Wells Tech Garage.